And now back to our real boxing. The biggest fight coming up is obviously, and there's a video already on the YouTube channel, Cisco Sasquatch. Go check it out for build up, some hype to it. But we've got Ryan Garcia and Gervonta Tank Davis. Huge fights at the catch weight of 136 pounds with a rehydration clause. I really just want to hear your predictions for this upcoming fight and what you think about the build-up and these special rules at this catch weight.
You know, the first thing you have to open up with, I think, here is, okay, respect. To Ryan and to Tank, respect to both of you. Even though I am going for someone and I do have a winner picked, respect to you guys because there's so many fights in boxing. And I came, like you said, from the UFC thing where fights were just made because you just had one guy. I didn't realize that it's a problem in boxing. But you made the fight, you got it done. You know, people are complaining about it's $85.99 or $84.99. Okay, well, we complained about them not fighting each other. We can't complain about the price now that they're fighting each other. But no, it's respects to them. The rehydration thing, I don't know. You give a little bit more respect to Garcia because it sounds like he went more out of his way to make this fight and like he wanted the fight maybe more than Tank did. But I mean, again, just respects to both guys. You know, throw all that stuff away for now, the rehydration, the money. Just give these guys the respect that they deserve. The build-up has been interesting, these press conferences. Maybe not as exciting as the Plant Benavidez press conferences, but interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, there was a line that... What did Tank say? You're punctual to him? And Tank's been showing up late to all the press conferences, and Ryan's been like, you're kind of a dick, bro, for doing that. I think they could have gotten a little more heated with each other at these pressers, but we'll see how it goes. We still got almost a month away.
However, sorry to cut you off in terms of the press conferences. So speaking of the influencer boxing, I watched the Impulsive podcast, Logan Paul. Ryan said he's got nothing against Tank. Says he respects him. So maybe that's what it is. Respects him. He's excited to fight him. But I'm sorry to cut you off, but just to throw that in there.
No, yeah, and that's kind of interesting to me. The way I've kind of seen it is just to jump on my little tirade. The price point is ridiculous. Oh. Respect to these guys for sure. Respect especially to Ryan Garcia, who I've been very critical of in his past, especially with the falling out with Canelo and Eddie Reynoso. I considered Ryan a punk kid. He dropped out for mental health reasons, which respect for him. Good thing he sorted that out. But
I had to bring you back in.
In the boxing world, we harp on these tough guys. We want these guys to be our tough guys, the guys who win and don't show that weakness. But I had a lot of respect for Ryan Garcia and Danny Garcia, who we recently saw open up about his own mental health. Nothing but respect to those guys. So I've been very critical of Ryan Garcia in the past, and I cannot say enough great things about this kid for stepping up and fighting Tank Davis. I think more so than Benavidez, Ryan Garcia is the future face of Mexican boxing, the next kind of golden boy, especially because I believe he picks up the win over Tank Davis. But we'll get into our own Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia whole podcast once it gets a little closer. But just to go on and bring us into the actual topic of this discussion is recently after the pressers, it was revealed that Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia are fighting at that 136 catch weight. And also, Ryan Garcia has a rehydration claw. The most, I guess, the biggest mainstream example of this I can think of is when Mayweather fought Canelo. There was also a rehydration clause in that contract, draining Canelo, making him look a little smaller than he was. And I have the same fear for Ryan that he may be a little drained. But honestly, I don't think that matters all that much because I think we're still close enough to Ryan fighting at 135 that 136 is going to be hard for him, sure, but I think he'll make it, and I think his power will still be there. Let me hear your thoughts on the rehydration stuff.
Yeah, the rehydration stuff is interesting to me. Something I haven't dealt much with of hearing it. Like you said, the most famous one that I can think of off the top of my head is Canelo Mayweather, and the rehydration, it's 10 pounds, right? It's 10 pounds, and I don't know what Ryan walks around at. I don't know what he walks around at, but I mean...
It's more than 146.
So... That's tough for Ryan, but, you know, Ryan said, hey, let's do it. And like you said, respects to Ryan. I think there's also a rematch clause only for Tank. So it sounds, you know, to me, and I hate to say it like this. Don't come at me for saying it like this, but it sounds like Tank's preparing for a loss almost, is what it feels like.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that too, or at least an excuse if he does lose. Whether that be Ryan was way bigger than me, or I just wasn't 100%, which is the Jake Paul excuse. Or maybe he even comes out and says that his ring gear was way too heavy. I don't know. But it does seem like Garcia or Davis may be preparing for worst case scenario. And like I said, because Ryan doesn't have those opportunities, I want to give him a lot of props. But props to Davis too, because Davis has a lot going on in his personal life, but also he's gotten a lot of criticism for avoiding a lot of these fighters. And Ryan is a huge name for him and a dangerous fight for him. So props to both those guys. Lastly, we'll definitely get more into how we see the fight going, the round by round kind of analysis and all that stuff. But just real quick, I want to hear, how do you think this fight ends?
So we've been going back and forth on this one, and for most of the time, we've had the same kind of idea. I want to switch over, and I want to say that Tank Davis wins this fight. I'm gonna say Tank Davis wins this fight late stoppage. I think he's gonna get Ryan with something that Ryan's not gonna get up from, and that's a big switch for me. But I think Tank Davis is gonna dig in. And he's gonna catch him middle of round 11.
Wow. Okay.
Middle of round 11.
Okay. I'm gonna say Ryan wins by decision.
Okay.
And the decision I'm giving him is I think that Tank will find him a little bit in those rounds, but I think inevitably Ryan will land a little more, pick up early rounds especially, and he'll just bank enough that once it gets to that decision at the end of the night, it's gonna go to Ryan.
We'll see. We'll see. I'm excited though. I'm excited.